Hello students, welcome to ROSE project 12th standard science. This ROSE project is conducted by Rayat Shikshan Sanstha Sadguru Gadge Maharaj College Karad. Myself DS Patil. My subject is physics. Our chapter is electromagnetic induction. This is our second lecture of electromagnetic induction. In today's lecture, we are discuss about the magnetic flux of the field. Second one, motional electromotive force, that is the EMF produced due to the motion. We can consider here two motions, translatory motion and rotational motion. Therefore, first point is translational motion of the conductor, and second one is the rotational motion of the conductor, that is the motional EMF in rotating bar. And last point of the today's lecture is induced EMF in a stationary coil in changing magnetic field. Now, magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is denoted by letter phi, and magnetic flux through any surface is the number of magnetic line of force passing normally through that surface, because magnetic line of force represents the direction of the magnetic field, and out of this, how much is the magnetic line of force passing normally through this given area, that quantity is nothing but the magnetic flux. Therefore, we can define as magnetic flux through any surface is the number of magnetic line of force passing normally through that surface. Now, consider a small surface area dA placed in a magnetic field B bar, which makes an angle theta with a aerial vector. This aerial vector is considered normal to this surface. It is in the direction of U cap. Therefore, in this here it is, we can consider magnetic field or the component of magnetic field in the direction of U cap as B cos theta. Now, magnetic flux for this small surface area can be written as d phi is equal to B bar dot dA bar, that is equal to mode of B into mode of dA into cos theta. That is the magnetic flux d phi is equal to magnitude of magnetic field into magnitude of area into cos of theta. From this equation, we conclude that the change in magnetic flux or magnetic flux is depends on the magnetic field. Magnetic flux is depends on the area, magnitude of area. Also, it depends on the angle between them, that is the B bar vector and the aerial vector. And B cos theta is the component. B cos theta is the component of the B bar in the direction of aerial vector. Therefore, it also can be defined as the product of area of the surface and the component of magnetic field normal to that surface. B cos theta is the component normal to that surface. That is the, therefore we can say that it is the product of magnetic flux is the product of area, magnitude of area, and the component of magnetic field normal to that surface. This quantity, here it is, B bar is the vector quantity, dA bar is the vector quantity, but here it is a dot product, and dot product gives the scalar. Result of this dot product is the scalar. Magnetic flux is the scalar quantity, and SI unit is Weber. Magnetic flux, SI unit of magnetic flux is the Weber or Tesla meter square. Now, flux will be maximum when theta is equal to 0. Theta is the angle between aerial vector and the magnetic field. That means when theta is equal to 0, that means the aerial vector is in the direction of magnetic field. That from the, if theta is equal to 0, we can say that the area area of that surface is perpendicular, or magnetic field passes perpendicular to this magnetic field. At that time, flux will be maximum, or change in flux will be maximum. Flux will be maximum, and if theta is equal to 90 degree, at that time we can say that surface is parallel to the magnetic field B, or area vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Therefore, flux will be minimum when theta is equal to 90 degree, because when the theta is 0, cos 0, 1, at that time maximum flux will be maximum line of force will be passed normally through that surface. That means flux will be maximum. Now this d phi is the magnetic flux related to the small surface area. Now we have to integrate, or we have to generalize for the surface area S. Therefore we can integrating this one. Total flux passing through this finite area S can be written as phi is equal to integration of S B in B bar dot dA bar, where theta is phi is the total flux passing through this total surface area S. Now in this case, if the magnetic flux, magnetic flux changes with respect to time, if the magnetic flux changes with respect to time, then phi magnetic flux also changes with respect to time. Therefore the above equation also can be written as phi of t is equal to integration or surface integration or b of t into dA. Now according to Faraday, rate of change of flux, this rate of change of flux, that is d phi by dt, is related to the work done to moving this unit charge over the counter of this surface S opposite in the direction, or counterclockwise. Therefore we can write here this work done is just the EMF. Therefore we can write induced EMF is equal to minus d phi by dt is equal to minus d by dt of integration over the surface area S b of t into dA. Now next point is the motional electromotive force, motional EMF, that is the induced EMF due to motion of the coil or rod is called as a motional EMF. Induced EMF due to the motion of the coil or rod is called as a motional EMF. आतापर्यंत आपण इंड्यूस्ड EMF हा मॅग्नेटिक फ्लक्स मध्ये चेंज झाल्यामुळे पाहिला. मॅग्नेटिक फ्लक्स ज्या असतात that is phi will be depends on the magnetic field, it depends on the area, and it depends on the theta. We are discussing in a magnetic flux. Now this induced EMF will be produced due to motion also. Therefore we can call it is motional EMF. Induced EMF due to the motion of the coil or rod is called as a motional EMF. Now here today's lecture we are considering there are two types of the motion. One is the translatory motion and another one is the rotational motion. In translatory motion, the object will be changes its position from one point to another point, and in rotational motion it is rotating about the point of rotation or pivoting point. Now first we have to discuss the translator motion of the conductor. In this case there is a rectangular frame, on which a rod or segment of this rectangular frame, a rod of length L is sliding over this frame. Now if this frame is placed in a magnetic field, uniform magnetic field B, which is going into the page, this magnetic field is inward. Now L be the length of the rod. Now if we move this rod with an velocity v, due to this motion of this rod or motion of the rod, there may be a change in area of this frame, and this under the influence of field, and then change in area of the frame, that is when we move this rod with an velocity v, there may be a change in segment x. This length x will be changed, that is increase in x. Due to this increase in x, the area bounded by this surface goes on increasing. That means the bounded by this frame will be increasing. That means the change in area of the frame under the influence of field is dA is equal to L, that is the length of the rod, into x in time dt. This change in area causes increase. Thus change in, or we can say that increase in area causes the increasing magnetic flux, that is d phi, and hence induces the EMF. And the magnitude of induced EMF can be written as E is equal to d phi by dt. We know that according to Faraday's law, E is equal to d phi by dt, that phi is here, B into Lx. Lx is the area. Therefore we can write here E is equal to d by dt of B into L into x. Here B is the magnitude of the magnetic field, which is a constant quantity because here it is uniform magnetic field B. L is the length of the rod which is in motion, and x will be, if V is towards right, x will be increasing. Therefore we can write here E is equal to B into L into dx by dt. This quantity dx by dt gives the velocity. Therefore we can write here E is equal to B into BLV, induced EMF. This is a particular formula for the motional EMF in translational motion. Particular because here it is rod, length of the rod is perpendicular to the velocity. Also a magnetic field is perpendicular to the length of the rod or velocity vector. Therefore this is the equation for the particular case. E is equal to B into LV. That is, here it is angle between V and B is 90 degree, and this is a maximum EMF. This can be also can be said that this EMF will be maximum. E is equal to BLV. Now this concept, this motional electromotive force in translation motion of this conductor can be understood with the help of Lorentz force also. Now for this case, if we consider a rod of length L having charges Q placed in a magnetic field B. Now when we move this rod in a magnetic field B, then the Lorentz force will be acted upon the charges. That is, charges in the rod are acted by magnetic force, that is Lorentz force, and it is given by F bar is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. The magnitude of this one can be written as F is equal to Q into VB sine theta, where theta is the angle between V bar and B bar. And this magnetic force causes the free charges in the rod to move, creating excess charges at opposite ends. The excess charges generate an electric field from A to B. Here it is magnetic force is coming going upward or in the upward direction. because of magnetic field B and the area vector are 90 degree. Magnetic field is in a inward, velocity vector is towards right, therefore magnetic force is coming upward or acting in the upward direction. And electric force due to the electric field, that is in the direction of, in a downward direction from A to B. Excess charges generates an electric field and electric force, that is F is equal to Q into E, opposite to the magnetic force. That is magnetic force and electric force are opposite to each other. Now when we move this charge, Q through length L, in magnetic field B, there must be work done, and this work done is given by F into L. And we know that from above relation, F is equal to Q VB sine theta, and here it is into L. Therefore, we can write here work done is equal to Q VB sine theta into L. The EMF generated is given by relation E is equal to work done divided by charge. EMF is equal to work done divided by charge, and that is equal to BVL sine theta. This is an general equation of the induced EMF when a rod of length L moving with velocity V, making an angle theta with the magnetic field B. That is E is equal to BVL sine theta. Now, if the theta is the angle between V bar and the B bar, If theta is 90 degree, sine 90 becomes equal to 1. Then E becomes EMF generated, electromotive force generated will be maximum. Therefore, we can write here E max is equal to BLV. And if theta is equal to 0, at that time sine theta is equal to 0, and E will be equal to 0. That means when the rod is in motion, perpendicular to the velocity vector and the magnetic vector, then magnetic vector or direction of magnetic field B, then the maximum EMF will be induced in that rod, and that is equal to BLV. And any of them is parallel, that is if B is parallel to V, or V is parallel to L, or L is parallel to B, at that time there is no EMF will be induced in that coil. Now we are discussing about the motional EMF in a rotating rod. Now, in this case, if we consider a rod of length L, pivoted at one end, is rotating with an angular velocity omega in a uniform magnetic field B. Now, due to this rotational motion of this rod, there may be this rod cuts the magnetic line of force, and due to this cutting magnetic line of force, there may be a induced EMF, or EMF will be induced in that rod. Now, for that one, consider a segment DX, small segment DX at a distance x. Now, this small segment DX behaves like a translatory motion with an velocity V, induces the small electromotive force. The induced EMF D in that small segment dx of rotating conductor of this rotating conductor is given by D is equal to BV dx. This is from the translatory motion, that is EMF in a translational motion. D is equal to BVL आपण तिथं घेतलं होतं, इथं L ही लेंथ आपण त्या सेगमेंटची घेणार आहे dx, म्हणून आपण इथं लिहिणार आहे small EMF, that is D is equal to BV into dx. Now for the total induced EMF we can integrate this one, therefore we can write E is equal to integration of D. that is equal to integration of above equation, that is integration of bv dx. Here dx is the varying quantity. Now v here it is v, velocity, linear velocity is related with the angular velocity by omega x. Therefore E is equal to integration b omega x dx. Here it is x is the varying quantity. Therefore by integrating this one from 0 to L, total, for the total length of this rod, E is equal to b omega integration 0 to L into x into dx. By integrating this equation, we can write E is equal to b omega L square divided by 2. This equation E is equal to b omega L square by 2. This equation gives magnitude of induced EMF, in the rotating rod pivoted at one end. Now next point of our today's lecture is induced EMF in a stationary coil in a changing magnetic field. That means there is a coil which is at rest, and there is a changing magnetic field. That means we can demonstrate here EMF will be induced due to change in magnetic field. Now consider a permanent bar magnet. Permanent bar magnet is mounted on a semicircular arc which is in oscillating about this pivoting point. Now there is a coil which is at rest of about 10,000 turns of copper wire loops, so that the magnet can pass freely through it. म्हणजे हा magnet जो आहे तो coil मधून काय झाला पाहिजे, पास झाला पाहिजे, अशी ती आपण coil घेणार आहे. Now the aluminum arc, semicircular arc is suspended at the center to oscillate freely. Now when this semicircular arc will be oscillating along with this magnet, when the magnet moves through this coil, the magnetic flux through the coil changes and hence the EMF will be induced in that coil. म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस हा मॅग्नेट कॉइल मधून मूव्ह होईल त्यावेळेस मॅग्नेटच्या कॉइलच्या रिलेटेड असणाऱ्या मॅग्नेटिक फ्लक्स काय होणार आहेत, चेंजेस होणार आहेत, आणि त्यामुळे या कॉइल मध्ये EMF इंड्यूस होईल. The induced EMF can be given by E is equal to minus d phi by dt. Here this EMF, induced EMF, will be opposite to the rate of change of magnetic flux with respect to time. That means if the magnetic flux goes on increasing, if the flux phi is increasing, then EMF will be negative. And if the phi that is magnetic flux goes on decreasing, at that time EMF will be considered as positive from the Lenz law and Faraday's law. Now the induced EMF, the magnitude of induced EMF produced in a coil can be measured with the help of capacitor and diode connected across the coil as shown in figure. Now the induced EMF changes its direction two types in oscillation, in per revolution, because when the magnet is starting going inside the coil, at that time there will be a maximum increase, or there may be an increase in the magnetic flux. Due to this one, EMF will be induced, but we can take it as a negative, because phi is increasing, EMF will be negative. Now when the magnet is totally inside the coil, at that time also magnetic flux, the magnitude of magnetic flux will be maximum, but it is a constant here. Therefore there is no EMF will be induced when the magnet is totally inside the coil. Now when the magnet is coming outside the coil, at that time the magnetic flux goes on decreasing, and due to this EMF will be induced in that coil. At that time EMF will be positive. EMF will be positive. That means in a half revolution, the EMF changes its path in one time. That is पॉझिटिव्ह चा आपला इथं निगेटिव्ह होईल किंवा निगेटिव्हचा पॉझिटिव्ह होणार आहे हाफ रिव्होल्यूशन मध्ये. म्हणजे पूर्ण रिव्होल्यूशन मध्ये जर आपण घ्यायचं झालं, म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस आपण कॉइल मॅग्नेट जो आहे तो पहिल्या एंड मध्ये आतमध्ये गेल्यानंतर ईएमएफ आपला निगेटिव्ह होणार आहे. बाहेर ज्यावेळेस तो मॅग्नेट येईल ईएमएफ आपला पॉझिटिव्ह होईल इकडे मूव्ह होताना. लक्षात, हाफ रिव्होल्यूशन होता. आणि तो हा जो सेमी सर्क्युलर आर्क आहे परत ज्यावेळेस पाठीमागे फिरेल त्यावेळेस आपल्याला त्या ठिकाणी काय मिळणार आहे, ईएमएफ पहिल्यांदा काय होणार आहे, निगेटिव्ह मिळेल आणि त्यानंतर पॉझिटिव्ह मिळणार आहे. दॅट मीन्स per revolution EMF will be changes its direction two times. Now we have to derive an expression for peak EMF induced in that coil, that is the E0. Now equation for induced EMF can be written as d E is equal to d phi by dt, and this change in flux related to the change in time is change in flux is related to the angular displacement of this semicircular arc, and this angular displacement is a function of t. Therefore we can write here E is equal to d phi by d theta into d theta by dt. The second quantity, we can concentrate on the second quantity, because there is a maximum when this d phi by dt, when it is maximum EMF will be induced, or at the time of d phi by dt the maximum, then only maximum or peak EMF will be induced. For that we can consider an oscillating system. For oscillating system we can write equation angular displacement, that is theta is equal to theta 0 sine 2 pi nu t, where theta is the amplitude of that oscillation and nu is the frequency of oscillation. Now frequency is related to the time period, that is by frequency is equal to 1 upon time period, that is nu is equal to 1 upon t. Therefore by putting this equation nu is equal to 1 upon t in above equation, we can write here theta is equal to theta 0 sine 2 pi t upon t. Now differentiating this equation we can write d theta by dt is equal to 2 pi theta 0 upon t into cos of 2 pi t upon t. Now when this quantity becomes 1, at that time d theta by dt becomes maximum. Therefore we can write here d theta by dt max is equal to 2 pi theta 0 by t. Now this maximum value related to the maximum value is related to the induced EMF by above equation, that is the E0, that is the maximum change in the magnetic flux with respect to time is related to the maximum EMF induced. Therefore we can write here E0 is equal to d phi by dt max, and d phi by dt max is depends on the maximum value of d phi by d theta and the maximum value of d theta by dt. Now therefore we can write here E0 is approximately equal to d phi by d theta max into this maximum value, that is 2 pi theta 0 divided by t. Therefore we can write also here, now this time period is related to the frequency. Therefore we can write E0 is approximately equal to d phi by d theta max into 2 pi nu into theta 0, where nu is the frequency, t is the time period, and theta 0 is the angular amplitude. Therefore we conclude that the peak value of induced EMF, maximum value of induced EMF is directly proportional to the angular amplitude. It's also directly proportional to the frequency of oscillation, and it is inversely proportional to the time period of oscillation. Thank you.